What's up, guys? Shay from Body Slam here. What we are going to do right now in this video is we are going to tier list every SummerSlam main event from 1988 through 2022, and we are not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it. Let's start with the very first SummerSlam main event, the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks. Macho Man Randy Savage, I was about to say Hollywood Hogan, but the immortal Hulk Hogan and the Mega Bucks, Ted DiBiase, Andre the Giant. If you go back and you watch the match, the audience is just on fire the entire time. Hogan was super over, so was Macho. Andre, of course, eighth wonder of the world, and then Ted DiBiase, of course, Bobby Heenan, Miss Elizabeth, all that good stuff. The match itself was decent. It was serviceable. It wasn't anything overly special, but it did have Hogan, it had Macho, it had Andre, and the crowd was really into it. So for the very first SummerSlam main event, I'm going to put this in the okay category. And then as you can see, we have epic tier, we have great matches, we have good matches, we have okay matches, and then we have flat out bad matches. So it's going to be a lot of fun to do the rest of these matches. So the second WrestleMania main event, we had Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake versus Macho Man Randy Savage and Zeus, of course. Hulk Hogan being in the film with Zeus. It was cool to see Zeus brought over to the wrestling ring. Personally, the match was okay again. Zeus, did some moves. He got some moves in, but Hogan carried the match. Hogan and Macho kind of carried that match, and that's kind of it, right? So the second main event is also going to go into the okay category for it not being anything special. Okay, so now we get to SummerSlam 1990, and we take a look at the Ultimate Warrior, who was World Heavyweight Champion at the time, versus Ravishing Rick Rude, two absolute legends in the game. The first SummerSlam main event that had two guys that could just absolutely, work, right? Not to say Ultimate Warrior was anything great, but he was a heck of a lot better than Zeus, and he was a heck of a lot better than Andre was at that age, right? So for this match, it was up-tempo a little bit, a lot more exciting. Two guys that could work. They contrasted each other well. This I'm going to put in the good category. So that's going to be a middle tier match. Not a bad match, not a great match, but a good match, a serviceable match, right? So 1991, we see Hogan and Warrior team up against Sergeant Slaughter, Colonel Mustafa, and General Adnan in a 2-on-3 handicap match. So at this point, Iron Sheik had hopped over to, the bad side. He was well hated, teamed up with the enemy. And this match was actually, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool seeing the idea of it. It was nicely set up. The arena was cool. Audience was hot as always. The match itself was okay. Slaughter bumped his butt off to make Hogan and Warrior look good. Sheik or Mustafa was kind of limited in the ring, and Adnan didn't do a whole lot. So I'm going to put this one into the okay category as well. And it sucks that the big Hogan matches are all just general attraction matches, so they're not necessarily like the best matches, but that's just the way that it was back then, right? You didn't have these big spectacular showcases. They were more along the lines of an attraction, something, fun during the summer, tag team matches, nothing crazy, right? So then we move on to SummerSlam 1992, and we see Bret Hart and his brother-in-law, the British Bulldog, in Wembley Stadium for the Intercontinental Championship. We don't even have to discuss this match, do we? We don't need to discuss this match. This match goes into the freaking epic category. It is one of the greatest matches of all time. If anybody debates that, you're insane. You're crazy, right? So we're not even going to talk about that one. So then we move on to 1993, right? Yokozuna's on the scene. He takes over as world champion, super dominant. But here comes the Lex Express, right? So Lex Luger body slams Yokozuna, gets the world title shot at SummerSlam. This is going to be a big deal. This is going to be a big deal. And this is like the first SummerSlam that had like a special entrance stage. And it was kind of glitzy with the red, white, and blue. The setup was nice. Luger was popular, super over. The match against Yoko was okay. It was fair. It wasn't great. It wasn't special. I have it noted as okay. Um, because I don't think their styles worked super well together. I mean, Yoko was very good for his size. Luger was on all cylinders at the time. I think the ending hurt it a lot too. You know, Luger winning the match, but not winning the title. But everybody coming out to celebrate and have fun with him, and it was just kind of weird. But he did win the match. But I don't know, just an odd choice of an ending for a match like this. And he would never win the world title. He would never go on to become WWF champion. He would go to WCW and become the WCW champion. But that's another whole nother story for a whole nother day. 1994, we have Undertaker versus Undertaker, which for the time sounds really cool, right? Sounds freaking amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, the match sucked. It was not a good match. I thought it was slow, which is kind of the shtick of the Undertaker. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible. So I'm gonna put that in the okay category as well, right? So you get my drift here. Most of the early SummerSlam matches and the main events were mediocre at best. They were okay, right? But then we go into 1995, right? This new generation of superstars, you know, they go younger, smaller. Well, not in this case, because Diesel and Mabel were actually two sizable guys, right? But they get in the ring and they stink it up, right? And it's not on Diesel, it's not on Kevin Nash, it's completely on Mabel for just completely not being ready for a match like this. Not even sure why they chose him as King of the Ring, but the match didn't even have a vignette before it. They literally went from the previous match straight into the world title match with no backstory, no nothing, no recap, no anything, right? And in the end, Diesel wound up winning the match with, I think, a flying clothesline or something like that from like the second rope or something like that. It was very odd the way that they played that out. But that is the first bad match of any SummerSlam. Will we have another? Will we have another? Maybe. We'll see. So, moving on to 1996, we have Shawn Michaels versus Vader for the WWF Championship. Vader was the super dominant, super heavyweight, and then Shawn Michaels was the underdog champion that everybody loved. They had a really good match, and I have this marked as great. I think this was like a really good, great David versus Goliath match. It looked very physical, especially with the offense that Vader put on Shawn Michaels. The near falls were believable. The crowd was into it. I mean, it had everything that you needed in a SummerSlam main event. And in the end, you know, Shawn Michaels would come out on top. Not after Vader would win the match by count out and then again by disqualification, ultimately falling to the Sweet Chin music, of course. But the first great match at SummerSlam was 1996. And then we move on to 1997. We have The Undertaker versus Bret Hart, with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. Of course, we know Shawn Michaels went home. He was out of action for a number of months. Undertaker kind of picked that up, and Bret would become champion at this SummerSlam. This match I was going to put into the great category, but after watching it, it really goes into the good category. And the reason that I say that is because it was a lot longer than it needed to be. And actually, Shawn Michaels kind of made the match better, right? So as far as the match goes, it was good. Longer than it should have been, but enhanced by the friction between Shawn, Taker, and Bret. And of course, this would eventually lead to the Montreal match with Bret and Michaels and Survivor Series 97 and all that jazz. So, yeah, another good match. And then we come up to SummerSlam 98. Stone Cold Steve Austin won the World Championship at WrestleMania. He's in a feud with The Undertaker, the Highway to Hell. This was like one of the first events that I like remember picture perfect. The Highway to Hell theme song, the countdown to SummerSlam, when I used to watch WWF, at Shotgun Saturday Night, all that good stuff, right? So the match itself, good match, right? This was another match that I was like, should I put this in the great category? Because this was a really big showdown for the time. But after going back and watching it, I would put this in the good category. Not great. It's a great, 2 great stars, but not a necessarily great match. Really good match, though, right? 1999, we have Triple H, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Mankind with Jesse the Body Ventura as the special guest referee. The match was okay. Triple H was kind of coming into his own. It wasn't great. It was better than okay. I will put this in the good category. The crowd was super shocked when Mankind actually came out with the victory. He would only keep the belt for a short amount of time because Triple H would take the belt, well, not right back because Austin was champion, but would take the belt back. Yeah, just an okay match. And then I'm going to also put the next triple threat match into the okay category as well. Kurt Angle, Triple H, The Rock was mainly between Triple H and Kurt Angle for the thing with Stephanie and Kurt Angle, but Rock was in there too. Luckily, Rock was in there because Kurt would get injured. So it was basically a Triple H versus Rock match, but in the end, The Rock would come out on top, retain his championship, and we have another good SummerSlam main event. And then things change a lot because WCW goes out of business, right? Booker T is WCW champion. The Rock returns after making some movies. And then we have the showdown, the summertime showdown of Booker T versus The Rock. Okay, so this match is also good. It's not great, but it's good. I think Booker T showed in this match that he can definitely hang with the top stars of the WWF or the WWE. WWF 2001, right? Yeah, WWF at the time. Good match. And then we move on to another Rock match. We have The Rock versus Brock. Brock debuts after WrestleMania 2002. He's quickly elevated, wins King of the Ring. Rock is world champion again after making movies. Brock runs through The Rock in another good match. Okay? So, next up, we have 2003. We have the Raw Championship, the Elimination Chamber match, Triple H, Jericho, Michaels, Kevin Nash, Goldberg, Randy Orton. This goes into the great category, and I'm going to tell you why. This match was great because it was perfectly built around Goldberg and Triple H. But in the midst of it all, everybody looked like stars. Everybody. And it was just well thought out. after I watched it, because I didn't like it when I originally watched it years ago, but I watched it again and I'm like, okay, this was designed for Goldberg. And they did a really good job of showcasing Goldberg, but while not having everybody else look weak in the process. Really good match, well done. One of the best chamber matches, hands down, still stands up to this day. Okay. the Benoit. The Benoit subject. Randy Orton, Chris Benoit for the World Heavyweight Championship 2004. Okay match. Okay match. It didn't feel like a main event to me, but okay match. And then Hogan's back, right? Hogan, the same guy who had all these okay matches way back when. Well, he comes back and he has a great match with Shawn Michaels. It had everything that you wanted. Two legendary icons. The crowd was hot. The excitement was off the roof. They really did really good work out there. The outcome left much to be desired, but feel good moment for everybody. I think that is definitely a SummerSlam classic if I've ever seen one. Okay. 2006. Let me make sure I'm keeping up with my notes here. We have Edge and John Cena. Edge being one of John Cena's best opponents, period. One of his best feuds is with Edge, right? But the match was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't okay. It was good. It was middle of the line. Edge was always a really good foil to John Cena. He always made John Cena look good, and in turn, John Cena made Edge look great as well. But then we also had John Cena and Randy Orton as well, which was always interesting because Edge and Orton were kind of paralleled for most of their careers, right? They kind of came up at the same time, even though Edge started years earlier. They both kind of rose at the same time. And there were differences between the two, like the two like heel superstars, where Edge is kind of more in your face, more bratty in a way. Orton was kind of more like meticulous, right? In my opinion, Orton had the better match with Cena, but not good enough to say it was great. Another good match. Then we have Edge back in the main event with The Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, World Heavyweight Championship. Ooh. Where do I put this one? I have a note on the page, but where do I put this one in the epic category. This is downright one of the best cell matches and one of the best SummerSlam matches ever. I think it belongs there. It definitely belongs there. I would say it definitely, yeah, it belongs there. Okay. What's next? Am I missing one? I am. I'm missing one. Where is CM Punk and Jeff Hardy? Oh, guys, I'm missing a match. I don't have CM Punk and Jeff Hardy on here. Crap. Okay. Well, CM Punk and Jeff Hardy goes into the great category. They had a amazing TLC match for the World Heavyweight Championship that Jeff Hardy CM Punk actually won that match in the end. Right? So that's another great match that somehow I missed. I'm not sure how that happened. Wait. Yeah, that should be here. Because Cena faced Orton, but the main event was CM Punk and Jeff Hardy. My bad. All right. Team WWE versus Team Nexus, good category. Nothing bad about it. Nothing overly great about it, other than the ending, of course, with Cena tapping out Wade Barrett. But that's besides the point. All right, CM Punk, John Cena. Ooh, ooh. I was gonna put this in the good category, but they worked really well together. That goes into the great category. Um, and plus Triple H added to it. He definitely added to it. So yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board with that. I'll put that in the great category. And then up next we have Brock Lesnar and Triple H. That was a good match. Um, I mean, they work well together. You know, they're two titans going head to head. Brock coming out on top. What more can you ask for? All right, John Cena, Daniel Bryan, WWE Championship. Great match. Great match. Dare I say epic match? Great match. Epic match. Great match. Epic match. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by a style. If you don't let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Out goes the rat. Out goes the cat. Out goes the lady with the seesaw hat. Boom. All right. Epic. No, I'm kidding. It was an epic match. It was an epic match. Great showdown. It really put Bryan over as legitimate. The yes movement was in full swing. I think Cena made Bryan look really good, and at the end, I think everybody believed in Daniel Bryan, even if there was a Money in the Bank cash in after the match, which would lead to Randy Orton being World Heavyweight Champion. But not even going to talk about that. Not even going to talk about that. Fast forward another year, and now we are in the Brock Lesnar era. First match, John Cena, Brock Lesnar. Good. He basically demolished John Cena to the shock and awe of the crowd. Right? So, yeah, it is what it is. Undertaker, Brock Lesnar. Good. Taker got his revenge after losing at WrestleMania. It's all good, right? Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton. Good. Nothing special. He busted Orton open. I will say that the Orton match was better than the Taker match and also the John Cena match. So at this point, Brock Lesnar was the type of wrestler that was like overly dominant, super dominant, right? So all he does is he beats down his opponent for 90% of the match. The good guy gets some offense here and there, and ultimately Brock puts them down. Right? That wasn't the case with Triple H or Taker, though, because their characters just don't work that way. But in other matches, that's the way Brock Lesnar matches went, right? It went that way with Cena. It went that way with Orton. But Orton's offense was a lot more effective than John Cena's. And that's just how Orton is. Just solid all around. He always has been, probably always will be. But good match overall. And then we come to the Fatal 4-Way. Brock, Strowman, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns goes in the good category. Nothing special. Okay match. Brock Lesnar retains. Right? Move on. And then we have the first encounter between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Solid match. Nothing special. Braun Strowman is hanging out on the outside because he's Money in the Bank. Kind of added some excitement to it. In the end, though, Roman Reigns will become World Heavyweight Champion, defeating Brock Lesnar. But same style of Brock Lesnar match. It is what it is. And then we move on to the modern matches. So we have Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. Seth actually had a better match with Brock than Cena, Orton, and Roman, and Taker, in my opinion. The way that he countered Brock's moves, doing backflips out of the suplexes, the way that he delivered the curb stomps, the splash from the top rope through the announce table. Everything that he did was, one, it was believable, it made sense, and it actually put a lot of hope in Seth Rollins, in my opinion, right? But still, good match. Nothing overly special about the match. And then we go into the COVID era. We have Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. They have this no disqualification, kind of no holds barred match. They wrestled around the outside of the ring. They wrestled in the backstage area. In the end, Wyatt would win the title, hitting Sister Abigail on the ring planks under the ring padding. The match was okay. Nothing great, nothing special. And then we have Roman and Cena, which was supposed to be this super epic battle, right? Two of the greatest superstars of all time going one-on-one. And it was like this big Summerslam showdown, which I think was done mainly because of name value, not necessarily because they were supposed to have this classic match. It was okay. Actually, I'm sorry. It was good. It was good. Let me not do that. And then last year, of course, we have Roman and Brock. And that goes into the good category. So let's take a look at what we got here. We got 3 epic matches. We have 5 great matches. The majority of the matches are in the good category. We have 6 okay matches. And then we have 1 absolute stinker of a match. And that is every SummerSlam main event through 1988 through 2022. And we know we have SummerSlam coming up in a couple weeks. Main event, Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns. I think that match is going to be great. It's going to go, I think it's going to go here. It's not going to go here. It's going to go here. But it's going to top majority of the main events that have happened so far on SummerSlam. So guys, thank you for watching. I do appreciate you. Do not forget to like, comment, most importantly, subscribe to the channel for more content. If you want me to do more tier rankings, let me know, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.